In this video today, we are going to be going through 11 things for you to check and consider doing when you get your Element Ecto straight out of the box. Hello everyone, my name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You'll see us on this channel do everything from the bashing, crawling, drifting, racing, all that kind of stuff, plus some how-to videos and product reviews. And today on the channel, the Element Ecto sitting in here. Now, if you've been following along, we've done a number of crawling videos, upgrades, mods, all this kind of stuff, testing out tires and this kind of thing with this truck already. I've had it for a couple weeks now, and what I've determined is there's about 11 things that if you've just picked this truck up, or if you're considering picking this truck up, that I would suggest that you look at straight out of the box as far as good things to do to it and things to watch out for. So let's get started. Item number one on this list is you actually have to add the mirrors to the whole vehicle, right? The hinges, the door handles, all of that is actually already on the body, but as you take it out, the mirrors are in a separate package off to the side, along with these stickers that you can put on the truck. So when you get the truck, get those mirrors out. I see a bunch of people running it, including me, running it without the mirrors on because you just don't pay attention to all the little parts that are in the truck. So the number one is a super simple one. Now, related to that, you will see that all of the items that are attached to this body are just pushed through pieces of plastic with little rubber grommets on them. All right, when you are out on the trail, that is easy pickings to get lost. These door handles get hooked on a branch or something like that, and it pulls straight out. They're pretty strong, but every time I came in, I noticed that these were pulled a little bit out. I had a couple of these that were about to fall out, or the door handle was turned all the way around. So really simple thing to do. Just get yourself some dang super glue and just put a small dab on the back side of all of these. Item number three of the number of 11 things to check when you first get this truck is to go over a bunch of the screws and just make sure that they're tight. I actually had a couple of these screws that help hold the front suspension on. They weren't super loose, but they were just a little bit loose to where I am very glad that I just went over. You're not looking to monster tighten them. You're not looking to torque them down a bunch. You don't want to strip that plastic in there. But I would say of all the screws on the suspension, there's probably what, 30-ish or so, something like that, 40. I probably had a handful, 5, that I could get a little bit tighter, and it made sure that I was pretty happy with that. So something like that, check those out. Just go over it real quick just to make sure you don't want to lose anything out there on the trail. Item number 4 actually pertains to these stock wheels and tires. You can see on this truck, I've actually already upgraded the wheels and the tires on it. But the stock ones out of the box, I had that issue right there, exactly, actually. I took it out of the box. One of these hubcaps was actually laying in the box. It had just fallen off due to transportation over time, getting shipped around. So check these. They do screw on to the end of your stud and then hold in the center there. Very easy. If that's not screwed on all the way correctly, super easy for that to fall off somewhere on the trail and it is gone. So just go through, make sure all of those are on appropriately before you lose them. Item number 5 of our 11 things for you to check is the shock position. So both front and rear shocks come mounted into a center position. If you're not familiar, it has 5 holes plus an orientation that you can do to mount your shocks. What I did is I made sure that the orientation was 3 holes on the back side here at the front, and I put the shock in the upper rearmost position. Honestly, for the front, did not make that much of a change. But on the rear, that actually meant switching the mount inside here. If you once you take the shock out, you'll find there's 2 pieces in here that help orient the shock mount. You can flip that around so that the 3 holes is in the front, and I put the shock mounted all the way up in the front. That helped just lower the overall truck a little bit, both front and rear, and that really helps with any of your hill climbing, things along those lines. Highly recommend it, straight out of the box, super easy mod to do. Item number 6 on our list is again about the shocks. Further, one more. A lot of the times you can feel the shock straight out of the box, whether or not it actually has a little bit of air in it. But it's pretty easy to just take this top screw out while you're moving the shocks. Go ahead and pop that cap off and just double check, make sure all your shocks are full. Recommend the 30 weight shock oil. Here's some from Team Associated. I can provide a link down below if you have to top any of them off. Turns out actually mine were all fine. I had no issue, but I've heard some other people on the Facebook group, the Element Facebook group, have some issues with that. And so that is something for you to check. Number 7 on our list is all about this Panhard mount right here, the Panhard rod itself, and the mount that it has over here on the side. It has a metal mount off the chassis that's very nice, and it actually comes with 3-position adjustment out of the box. Very nice of Element to provide that. Once you've moved your shocks and you're trying to go for a lower center of gravity chassis, you need to go ahead and move this all the way up to the top. With it in the middle and the shocks moved, this Panhard was hitting the top of this pumpkin here. With it moved all the way up to the very top, it no longer does. So you don't want that to hit and kind of cause binding out while you're on the trail. So go ahead and move it all the way up into the uppermost position. Number 8 on our list is about these motor wires. Straight out of the box for me, this is actually undid this mod to show you. This is how it came for me. These motor wires were right here, right above the battery. So as I started to put batteries in and out and mess with my lead here, it was a pain in the tail, as it turns out, right? These things are always in the way. And if you notice, the servo wire and the ESC wire are actually run underneath the battery tray as it sits. And so what I've done, and I undid for this video, is I came in, routed them in underneath here, and simply zip tied them out of the way. That keeps them out of the way. It gets them out of any kind of binding or any kind of issue you're gonna have with the tires. Keeps them out of the way of your battery, keeps them nice and safe off to the edge, just like that. Number 9 is all about this Stealth X transmission. From the factory, it comes with the 5-point-something overdrive gear in here. After really quick testing, immediately went with the 11.8% overdrive. I have a whole video showing exactly how to go from that 5% overdrive to the 12%. So I'll put a link for that either up here or down in the video description. A lot of forks are really torn on the overdrive. I actually asked the question to the Facebook group and got a whole bunch of answers and variation back and forth. It seems like in general, a lot of people really do like that 12% overdrive. I have never found anything, that's actually the least amount of overdrive I drive anywhere for trailing, for crawling, for all that kind of stuff. All my other rigs have significantly more overdrive than that. I plan to actually even continue to go further with it. I'm going to get some hot racing gears and go to an even higher amount of overdrive. But that's my personal preference. From what I can see, you are never going to harm anything by going to that 12%. It doesn't hurt your trailing. It only helps you when you're doing more technical crawling. It's a no-brainer to me. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to put them down in the comments. I'm happy to talk to you about it. Item number 10 on our list is all around waterproofing. So the brushed motor should be in good shape straight out of the box. The ESC, as near as I can tell, completely fine. It's always the receiver that makes me wonder. It is not in a box. You know, you get your Red Cat, my Red Cat Gen 8, TRX4, my Axial, all have the receivers in a box somewhere. This one is hanging out here all by itself. Basically one of two solutions for you. You can either take a balloon and put it in a balloon and try to seal it off to make it a little bit more waterproof, or what I did, the conformal coating. So you can pop the case open and you can actually brush some conformal coating all over the board that's inside there, and that keeps it 100% waterproof. I've had really, really good luck with this stuff from MG Chemicals. I've used it on a bunch of things and it has worked for me like a champ. I do highly recommend that for you on these. They say that it is water resistant per the manual, which to me means maybe not. Who knows? We'll have, you know, like no real guarantee that if you go and get stuck upside down underwater, that this thing won't fry on you. And as it turns out, the factory controller is nice enough for me. I don't want to get rid of it. And so I am looking to keep this running hence the conformal coating of the board inside of it. All right, and then we come to the last recommendation, item number 11 of 11 of things that I would recommend that you do out of the box to your truck. With this vehicle, one of the things that's really, really good about it is it basically has zero rear bumper to worry about and to catch on, and the tires do stick out past the rear bumper. From the front bumper, it's also one of the best front bumpers that you can get in the industry on a ready to run, as far as there's no shrouding of the front tires and it doesn't stick out too far. But from the factory, it does actually stick out just slightly past the bumpers. What I did is I came in here and I lopped off, if you can see that, I lopped off 10 millimeters of the chassis on both sides. This plastic mounting bracket, I just cut off the back of the two mounting holes for that plastic bracket and shoved that whole bumper in. The winch, you can just choose to, at that point, then just get rid of this faux winch if you want to. Or what I did is I took it off of its standard mounting holes and I just ground it flat behind it so that it would sit smoothly on the bumper, and I glued it in place. So now I still have basically the same exact look, but I saved myself 10 millimeters total of front bumper clearance for $0. So there you go. There is 11 items. If you are getting a new Element RC, especially if you're getting the Ecto, there's 11 items that I suggest you check out and consider doing to your truck right out of the box, right? Some of these you might want to hold off on. Maybe you don't want to do them right away, but keep those in your mind. These are all things that I have done and do highly recommend for you when you get this truck. There are some bonus items, right? Like I can get you some additional tips. You know that you're going to end up replacing the ready to run servo and the servo arm in it. I do highly recommend these Zooskate 35 kg servos. I have this one and its metal servo arm because right after I finish filming this, guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to stick this in the truck. The other thing, as far as a bonus item that you should consider, something, and this is something else that I am about to work on. I'm thinking about moving some of this weight around. It's not a lot of weight, but one of the things that you have in your vehicle that's the heaviest that you move around is the battery. ESC, there's no real magic to it sitting up here. This does have a location here for where you could put a servo winch if you wanted. I'm not planning on doing that. So I'm thinking about moving this ESC and basically swapping where the ESC and the battery sit, see if I can figure out how to mount a battery up here. I'll then be able to move the receiver and the ESC up into this location, get that receiver up a little bit higher, just further lessening how much water it's going to see over time. That is the 11 items that we have, plus some bonus ones. I really hope this was useful for some folks out there. So please, if you have any questions about these items that I've suggested, ask down below in the comments. If you have any other ideas that you'd like to add to the list, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to make our comments area down below just this repository of really good information for folks who are first getting these vehicles. So please go down there if you have any other ideas and put those in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to share them with other folks. So please do that. Now, I'm going to get to working on some other stuff over here. In the meantime, if you would, come over here, check out some other videos that we've already made, whether it's other crawling videos or stuff out there, stuff with the Ecto potentially. So come over here, check those out, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for your support. I always appreciate it. See you next time. Goodbye.